Okay, mic should be on. Everything appears to be fine dandy. Let's get rid of the usual text, which is this and that, and say hello.
Hello.
Hello all. Right, we're back for some more Ghost Trick. Right, we're pretty close to the end. Like, if we do things right, could be the next two streams following, like this one and the next one. Like, we're that close, if we do it right. We just gotta see how the pacing's going, really. Right.
I should imagine. And also, hello Pavlov. Actually quite early.
Surprisingly early, like this,
Yeah.
like the minute we started the stream. Like, well done. Gotta give him that.
Yeah.
Right, let's go to the main game, which is that one. There's the screen. Right, chapter 14. Something happened in the park. Because what can't
Let
happen
me
anywhere?
guess. Somebody died.
No, it's not because the aim of the game. Temsic Park, the site of the little lady Camilla's abduction tonight, and the place where an important piece of evidence, the music box, was hidden. Well, I don't see anyone dead yet. I wonder why our lady detective is looking so dejected. At least she isn't dead. But what did you heat? It's already started. No.
Oh.
Mixing up of words. Finally, when did that kick in? It's been too long since I haven't done that.
No, it's you listen too much to me.
Damn it. There we go. Couldn't reach this damn briefcase. Huh? What's he doing here? La la la, let me spend you a moment's time with you, my love. Yeah, I'm not singing this. There's not even a rhythm to behind this. This is the same thing. A little late. It's already ice cold. So he's doing a delivery by foot by the looks of it.
I mean, he's not really delivering right now.
No, he is not. 10 minutes or it's free. He didn't get the memo.
Don't tip the delivery boy.
Let's see. I need him to swing a bit harder. Physics ain't enough here. Harder! Harder! There you go. Swivel this around. Oh wait, I gotta be at the core. Hang on. How high is he going? Oh, I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not swinging that high, are you even swinging? Like, what's the point?
There you go. That's a crap seesaw if one of the ends are broken. It's clearly a park that's not gotten funding. Go. Ah, yeah, I see it now. What did you do?
Oh, there you are, Sissel.
From your dejected expression, I gather you didn't find what you were looking for?
Right, I can't find the music box anywhere. But I found something else instead, something horrible.
Horrible? What is it? Over there.
Yeah, and requires you better see for yourself.
Okay. It looks like a dead body.
I nearly died when I saw it.
Don't jinx it!
And I suppose now that we found it, we can't just leave it there, can we?
Nope, I suppose not. Alright, just give me 5 minutes. Or 4 to be more precise. Ah, your turn to be energetic.
This is, stop the park from being turned into a housing site. Protect the park. The work of the gods, god damn it. You there!
You're talking to me, aren't you?
I have some leaf lefts for you. Leaf lefts! I know, you'll be interested. Lefts?
Leaflets, yeah.
I urge you to pursue it thoroughly. Examine it in detail.
Never mind that right now. Do you remember your name?
My name. What does my name matter when there are more important things to worry about?
Okay.
Come now and study these checks with me, my brother. Going on about the work of the gods with me. God, I can't say this seriously. The night is no longer young. As a matter of fact, daybreak is approaching, but we are young.
He's like a thespian actor or something. Look, I don't have time to get involved in your way of life, but I am interested in your way of death. So let's go back to 4 minutes before your death. I don't think we'll be chatting with him too much.
Thank God. Thank the work of God. And so I made up my mind. I resolved to live here in this park and defend it.
Okay, and what does that have to do with this rock of the gods you mentioned?
You still don't appear to understand.
And I never will.
It's written quite clearly in the fourth leaflet in great detail.
Excuse me, but I have to use the restroom.
I have to do the same motions.
Here he goes.
I'm coming! Oh,
I told you he's lively.
Yeah, I'll be right there. I've located the target, beauty. A girl of the right age, coming out of the right apartment building at the right time.
Shove.
Yes, my dear, I'll ever so gently nab her and come right back to your side.
He even has the briefcase for it and everything. He prepped this.
Good evening, young lady. Wouldn't you come with me? Stranger danger.
Stranger danger, stranger danger! Eek!
Oh gods, what do I do? What should I do? I have to do something.
Oops. Well, she's dead. Or not.
What?
What? What? What? How does that even happen? What in the world? What just happened?
Oh, it's Mino.
Mino?
Mino, the mascot, the symbol of the Temsik Park.
Forget about the name of that big creepy lump of concrete. I'm talking about the way it changed direction. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. We witnessed it with our own eyes. The power of the work of the gods. That was the power of the gods. The power of the gods saved the little girl.
And then that same power very deliberately crushed you instead.
Yes, precisely. That is called the mischief of the gods.
Was it the mischief of the gods or was it a ghost trick? But nah, it couldn't have been a ghost trick. No ghost trick could change the direction of something that heavy in midair. But wait a minute. What if there was somebody with much greater powers than me? Well, there's only one way to find out. We'll get there more in close in detail. I think. Let's see. Okay, I can do a few... Who's that? Look at that! There's another flame besides mine.
Oh, so that is the flame of a god, is it? But hold on. Your spirit is a flame too, isn't it?
Yeah, so?
Oh, pardon me, but... Are you a god?
Judging by what I've been doing so far tonight, I might as well be. I sincerely doubt it. At the last minute, that big lump of concrete made a huge swing to one side. That was probably that flame's doing. Who could it be?
I definitely believe it's either a god or something god related.
Maybe I better try talking to this person. Right, better get up close and personal with whoever this mystery ghost is. What the... This person with much greater powers than me. It's It's... you?
Hey. So.
Oh, my, it's,
So.
you look well for being dead.
Did you see it? Did you see what I did? I did it. I tried really hard and I did it. I saved Miss Camilla. Are you telling me I was done in by a puppy dog?
Yep. Missile, what's going on? How did you get the powers of the dead?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh, here we go.
After Miss Camilla went out, you left.
It's been doing that for like several hours then, logically.
I worked like crazy to make my own path, and I did.
Come on, you can do it. Yay!
Okay, I thought this was going somewhere darker right now. And then I followed Miss Camilla out into the big wide world.
Well, there she is.
And then here, at this park, I found her at last. Yes, you guessed it, I parked. You better did. And I went running after her too.
And bless this doggo for being so stubborn. Bastard.
Oh, that's cruel.
He didn't even hesitate.
And then I guess I died. And then I was unconscious for a little while.
Ah.
When I came to, it was all over. Poor Miss Camilla. Crushed under the big scary lump. Oh, what have I done? I'm so sorry, little lady. Please, forgive me. Miss Camilla! I had to rescue Miss Camilla. It was up to me. I cried out from the depths of my heart. And then...
Ah.
I can tell you how surprised I was. But I bet you understand, right?
I love that Missile's color is green. It's your favorite color.
Oh yeah.
Better than probably anybody else could.
And I remembered what to do. What you did for me. How you saved me.
So, you went back, right? Back to 4 minutes before the little lady's death?
You bet I did.
I even did the green variant and everything. Oh, this is repeat
Yeah,
history. We don't have to
definitely
redo it. Stranger danger.
Now's my chance. I thought I saw the core.
But that's too far. We can't reach that. I don't know. It looks pretty far.
I stretched out my paw towards the core. Oh, how I felt at that moment. I'd love for you to be able to feel it too. Go ahead, Sissel. Go ahead and try it for yourself.
How much reach can you get? About... Wow. Jesus. So much
Wow.
reach! I can reach so much with this shit! I can... There we go. Easy as that. I can't believe it. How could you connect over such a great distance?
Well, they don't call me Missile for nothing.
And so then you manipulate that Mino thing and threw it aside?
Right on top of my head. Well, no, actually.
Huh?
I can't manipulate things like you can, Sissel.
You can't? Then how did you...
I didn't know what to do. Then it happened to see something out of the corner of my eye.
Literally.
And it had a core too.
It's right at the corner.
A single leaf hanging from the tree. Oh, he swapped places. I tried reaching out to the leaf.
Alright. There we go. Easy as that. What in the world?
I can't manipulate things. But apparently, I can swap them.
Ah, the old switcheroo.
As long as two things have the same shape to this.
Swap things with the same shape.
Go ahead and try it. Touch the swap button.
I guess a dedicated button and everything. Yeah. Easy as that. That's incredible! So that's how you saved your mistress, isn't it?
And that's how I became caught up in this, is it? I'm very sorry. My powers were too meager.
Meager?
Because, you see, I saw one more.
Oh, it's right there.
I happened to notice one more core. There was something with the exact same shape stuck in the branch of the tree.
Hey, you're right. If Mino could be swapped again with that.
Then disaster wouldn't have to rain down on my head.
But what is that thing? It's too big to be a leaf.
Whatever it is, I much prefer it on my head than Mino.
So why didn't you swap them, Missile?
I couldn't. I can stretch out my powers a little further than you can, Sizzle.
A little's an exaggeration.
It's almost double, if not more.
Let's say 3
But
times.
this was just too far for me. I couldn't reach.
So fate happened. Well, that explains that then.
I must admit, it's a fascinating spectacle of a death, if I do say so myself. I kept trying over and over, seeing if there was anything I could do.
God. I wonder how long he's been here doing this. Considering, you know, you could rewind time as many times as you want. You
The
could never
entire
see.
night.
Oh God. I bet there's something you can do now.
Huh?
If we work together, you and me,
Cecil, you think so?
and I plan on letting anybody die in front of me tonight. You think you could help me?
Of course! Naturally.
So, we're going to drop that Mino thing in a different spot. Okay, let's try it. Let's go back again to 4 minutes before. This time, with an extra hand. Right, so we now have the capabilities of using 2 ghosts at once, which is amazing. Alright, let's get started. 4 minutes from now, you swap Mino with the leaf. And then you have to swap Mino with something else. Something with the same shape.
Oh, I believe that's a rugby ball. Rugby ball.
I wonder if that changes in the US version, considering the context.
Could be.
Okay, rugby ball, huh? But with the rugby ball where it is now, Missile can't reach it. So that means I have to move it closer somehow. It looks like you and I will have to work together on that one, Missile.
Okay, I'm ready. Whenever you want to use my swap trick, just touch the icon.
Thing icon!
That way, you'll be able to control me. And then if you touch the icon,
Press the action button to switch sides. Control will come back to me.
by the way, you can switch between us with select too.
The fuck's a select? I only got a keyboard here. Select, huh? I'll remember that.
Okay, let's try it. Together, we can stop Mino from hurting anybody.
Okay, this should be interesting. It's not too complex, they just made it they made it simple for the sake that you have to handle 2 at once.
Yeah.
Right, so first we'll focus on using Cecil as much as possible. The fact you gotta navigate both is the problem, but the fact here is that Missile has got really long reach. There's no limitation on how far you can reach, really. So just get to your characters wherever you need them to be and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
The major problem is just Missile, because he's so short range, damn it.
I mean, Sizzle, not Missile.
Oh, whatever. The similar name, damn it.
Yeah.
Still got time. Right, I need to swap the... Damn it.
Oh, okay. You probably need to.
Swap! There we go. Now with the weight of the thing, it should be able to keep... It's too heavy, damn it!
Wait.
That's fine. Alright, I'll just swap it back then. I just gotta be quick and clever about it.
You need to be in the
Swap back
wheel,
over.
right?
I need to
You need to
reach.
be in the wheel when it swaps.
Let's see. I can't. There. Right. And if I spin that. Right, I'll give a bit of buffer time. Right. And swap that. I need to. Oop. That one, then swap that. Should be correct. And let's see. Gotta hope I'm doing things right. Working on borrowed time right now. Yeah, damn it.
I think you need to get launched upside the. Oh, okay. No, maybe not.
Trying to think what I need to do. Damn it. Right, let me just move out of the way. The fact you gotta navigate both is the problem. Yeah. Right. He's in the way. Right. Leave missile here at least. In fact, all this has to be done in that instant. Everything has got to be ready. We'll knock it in a minute. I'd be stepping too fast here. I'm probably not thinking it through because I'm panicking. Go. Ghost that. And... Trick that. Yeah. Okay. I need this open. Right, now I need to put myself down. I think I need to swap back, actually. Alright, it's not the same shape because it's on the thing.
Oh wait, so you can't revert it anymore?
Because it's technically flat, it's not the same shape, so that's the problem.
Oh, you need to wait.
It's gotta be the same shape in the two-dimensional plane, which is so stupid. I mean, I love it, but it's stupid. Let's see. No, wait, keep him there. Because the logic being, the guy here is gonna jump onto the seesaw. He's gonna fling up the object. We need to keep that momentum, then swap it with the big tire. Because if the big tire's on there, he won't be able to launch up as high. So that's the problem.
But wouldn't that mean you need the baseball because it would launch the farthest?
No, I think we only need mid-height, I think. I could be wrong. We'll find out. Alright, let's just see if our theory's correct. It's gonna jump on any minute now. There we go, perfect. It's exactly where I wanted it to be. Now it's the big change. Right, so now we need the... Let's see. We need the tire to be at range, so... There. And there's the problem. Hang on.
Oh, the tire needs to be here then?
Yeah, I need the tire up here. It'd be enough to weigh down the thing. I'm missing something.
So that the ball launches it then.
You'll jostle it pretty much, but I'm missing something. What am I missing?
I mean, you can put the tire there, can't you?
I can't reach it.
No, but I mean, originally.
Hang on. Let me see.
Is there a reason why you need the tire in the spinning thing?
That's as far as it reaches. I can't move it without anything else. There's nothing else like it.
In your initial setup. you move the tire into the spinning thing. Do you need to do that? Or could you leave the tire on the left side next to the seesaw?
He's right. Alright, let's rewind and try it again. This sequence is so short, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
You are right, though. I don't think there's any point I need to put the tire in there. I should swap it with the baseball instead. Alright, let's try this again. Seasons only really need here to just move some things around, but that's it, really. Mostly missile. So, keep him there for now. Right, the tire can stay put. Don't talk to him. Can't reach it. Right, need right onto this side, and can't reach anything till he starts moving the thing. So for now, I keep missile here, and I guess we'll just wait. Here he comes now. Right, so now I want to swap those, because they'll be perfect trajectory, and I can just leave him there for now.
Yeah.
And now, just gotta wait for the guy
to go up on your own.
To wait for him to be on the whatever this gyro thing is. This globe.
Yeah.
That was too soon. Curse you missile for having better reach. Right, I'll just
Do you have flexibility?
Missiles both. Ooh. Come on. Damn it.
Yeah, I mistimed it.
There we go.
Oh, that's good.
Right, so now I'm here.
So balloon up to get the...
Jostle this. We're getting there. It's all a puzzle game, but it's a fun one when you figure it out.
Yeah, no, I still really love the mechanics behind it. It's like... It's the first game that ever did this, and executed it well on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Right, am I able to...
I think you
Perfect.
don't need to move now.
I'm just making sure.
Maybe stay in the...
I...
or something, but...
I'm not sure where to leave Cecil. I'm assuming that the gyro will leave in a position where I can leave. If not, then that's my mistake.
Yeah.
For now, we just have to wait. As soon as he jumps off. Any minute now. Yes, it does stop in a position I can leave. Good. Thank you, game developers. You're smart. Right, now for the big change. So, swap that. And reality kicks in. There we go. How's that? There. We moved the ball. What do you think, Missile?
With the ball there, I think you can do it.
In just a few seconds, you'll swap Mino with the leaf. And then from there, you can swap Mino one more time. The fun moment is near, Missile. Are you ready?
You bet.
Go fucking
Okay,
do
so
it.
Just need to, yeah.
Right, no,
I think
I have to
you
wait.
don't
I have to
think
wait for the
the-
moment.
Yeah, the swap will happen automatically.
I think.
But you should go to the ball, right? Already.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be doing the swap or the game will do it for me, so
Oh,
we'll just
okay.
find out in a minute. Here we
Okay,
go.
I probably won't do it then.
Hang on, the moment still hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
There. As close as you can get it.
Okay, watch me, Cecil. Here I go.
Finishing touches. You can do it, Missile. Swap Mino with that ball. There you go. You did it. You saved his life. The old switcheroo.
Yeah, how's that? My head's been spared. Truly, that was a try worthy of the gods.
And now Mino is right where he belongs. In the trash.
We did it again, didn't we? Didn't we?
Did.
No, nobody has to die.
Except for one brave little somebody.
Huh?
I'm talking about you, Missile.
Oh, me. I guess you're right. I'm still dead, aren't I?
And the messed up thing is, even if we try to save Missile, that means, Camilla dies anyway.
Yeah.
So now, let's go back and save your life.
Wait a minute.
What is it?
Now that I think about it, I think I want to stay dead a little longer.
What?
When I was alive, I couldn't even help Miss Camilla when she was in trouble. I want to be able to protect Miss Camilla.
God damn it, this blessed boy.
Dogs. Dogs. And to do that, I need these powers I have now.
I see.
Perfectly understandable.
Indeed.
Even I wish I had powers like this.
Hey, we just saved you. Don't wish your life away already.
Oh, of course, you're right.
Okay, Missile, have it your way. By the way, Mr. Reckless Youth, there's a certain detective who needs that music box you found. When we get back to the present time, could you give it to her?
Certainly, yeah, my word. Let's go back then, to the present.
Alright. Now we have 2 ghost powers. How's about that?
Just getting out of hands, now there are 2 of them.
And so Camille ended up in the hands of the kidnappers. We weren't able to change that part. Lynn listened to my story about saying everything. Without saying anything. I'm sorry. I wish there was something else I could have done.
No, you did the best you could. I'm sure she's alright, after all. After all, she has me.
Leaf is talking to me.
Missile, are you in there? Miss Lynn, leave Miss Camilla to me. I don't know. I know I don't look like much right now. But I'm sure I can help her. Missile.
Don't let go, for God's sake. Oh, God damn it.
Miss Lynn.
Ah, shit. There he goes. Well, there goes the new powers. Damn it.
I'm going to leave it up to you, Missile.
I think you mean up to the wind. It kind of looks like Missile's being left up to the wind. Yeah, just like what I said.
God damn it, you already became your character.
It's happened multiple times as well.
Yeah. I have something to give to you. Stop the park from being turned into a housing site. Protect the park, the work of the gods.
Aren't you forgetting your promise?
Oh, pardon me, pardon me.
Old habits die hard.
My apologies, this is for you. Oh?
Shove.
You kept the music box safe, didn't you? Thank you. Not at all, I was only doing what the work of the gods would have wanted.
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
He's memorized by my beauty. Hey, the cat's not allowed to get your tongue.
Hmm.
Excuse me, but are you? No, it couldn't be. Have we met before? Aren't you? Aren't you the little girl from that time?
Oh god, it's all connected.
I will never forget. It was 10 years ago in this park.
Seriously, is everyone connected to this character?
10 years ago? It seems so.
Like, everyone has connections to Lynn somehow.
Are you talking about...
Oh, it's time for some more dialogue. In we go.
Here in this park, the gods surely control fate. Today, 10 years from that day, we meet once again. If that isn't the power of the gods, then what else is it?
It could just be coincidence. But apparently, you know our lady detective here. Could you tell us about it? About what happened 10 years ago?
Yes, of course. I was actually about to do just that.
Great, save us the time. What's this Rock of the Gods you keep mentioning?
Don't you know? It's right there in front of us.
Where? I don't see it. Missile? Oh.
Missile. Wait a minute. You say gods, but do you mean dogs?
The fuck's a god? The fuck's a dog? I mean, what the fuck?
Of course not. Don't be silly. This is no time for ridiculous word games. You are just standing just above the Rock of the Gods now. Take a good look at that momentum.
The monument.
Monument. Ah,
Well, I would read it, but one, I can't read, and two, it's blank.
monument. There's a blank. Oh.
It's
that's
right.
all.
I can't read it. It's
Ah.
blank.
The Rock of the Gods.
Oh, that. Neat.
The rock is buried in the ground. Right there. It's been there 10 years. Ever since that day, it flew down from the heavens and showed us a miracle.
You know, scientists would dig that up the day it landed, but apparently
Yeah.
they didn't. A miracle?
Maybe that was the miracle that it didn't show up.
Somehow. It's 1 inch too deep. We can't dig it up.
So this rock you've been talking about, it is a
Meteorite.
meteorite. Precisely. It dropped from the sky on that day 10 years ago. Yes, of course. Surely you know all about it. Me?
Hmm.
That day I just happened to be passing through this park.
Just so happens to be.
Yeah. I had no idea that day would change my destiny. The sun was going down, and through that gloom, I heard the scream of a little girl.
Eek! I think we know where this is.
Yeah. Yep, he is.
That's
I
you.
peeked out fearfully from the bushes and saw some shadowy figures. I didn't see the face of the criminal clearly. I knew I should do something to help, but I couldn't move. The tension was so thick, it was painful just when I couldn't stand it any longer. That's when it happened. The sky suddenly burned bluish white.
Oh, what are the odds?
When it crashed into the ground, the meteor of a shower of beautiful fragments. And then I saw it. One of those beautiful fragments pierced into the criminal's back.
Really? Interesting.
The judgment of the gods was brought down on the park that day. 10 years ago. The little girl that was you was saved by the Rock of the Gods. Oh, I can't believe it. The Rock of the Dog was given the name Temsik. And still, today, it lies sleeping deep in the park's earth. And I never knew about this Temsik. I always thought Detective Gerald was the one who saved me.
Even he thinks he did it.
You were very young then. And you passed out from the shock of being taken hostage. Of course, you wouldn't remember.
But that's funny. A huge incident like that should have caused quite a stir. It's strange you never heard of it, Lynn.
It is, isn't it? But now that I think about it, I remember I didn't want to think about what happened. I avoided the news and I never came back to this park again.
That's understandable.
I didn't know anything about it. The meteorite was named Temsik after the name of the park that it fell in.
Yeah, usually it's the other way around, but whatever.
Yeah. And then the Rock of the Gods was forgotten. Now, another thing is happening. Yeah, talking about turning the point into a housing site. I will never forget the miracle that I witnessed that day.
Well, now that explains a lot.
And so I've taken up residence in this park, and I'm trying to appeal to the people. Protect the park, the Rock of the Gods. That is my mission. I see.
It's like the equivalent of putting your faith in the sun. He's always there. I can always see it.
Yeah. And then it's night. I'm taking you with me, Missile.
So, 10 years ago, the little girl that was Lynn wasn't aware of the meteorite. I get that, but Detective Jowd, on the other hand, there's no way he didn't know about this Temsik thing. And if he knew... And then the man died. I took his life. What was that confession of his all about? The rocks of the gods that fell from the sky 10 years ago changed the destinies of many people's lives, like the ripples in a pond when a pebble was dropped in. With every answer I get, I learn about a new mystery. Will I be able to break the chain of mysteries before dawn? You could say it's like
another chain.
another chain of memories. Anyway, now that we have the evidence we need, we decide to meet up again at the minister's office. Besides, there are a few things I want to ask Detective Jowd. He's withholding information. I know it.
Also, that was an awful lot of reading I had to do, goddammit.
Yeah. Thankfully it's easing up now.
Yeah, we found the music box, Detective Jowd.
Good job, Lynn. I knew you would. Once everything had been resolved, I wanted you to give this to him.
You mean Inspector Cornella, right?
I don't suppose he'll ever forgive me.
Detective Jowd.
Now then, let's get this thing open. There's a certain knack to doing it, you know. See? He calls that a knack? Looks more like brute strength to me. With style. Here you are. You should find scorch marks on the grip.
Scorch marks?
When Camilla built her contraption, she used a special kind of string. It's a kind magicians use. It burns up in an instant and disappears.
Why would little Camilla do something like that?
I don't know. It's because she's a detective's daughter. Not leaving any evidence behind and all that. In the case report, there was mention of some scorch marks. Yeah, naturally it would be on the handle. When it happened, Camilla was watching from her hiding place. She saw the flame run to the gun, something she naturally didn't include in her design. I took the gun out of the frame and replaced it with a picture. If you remove the picture, you should find scorch marks behind it on the frame too. And those marks would match up with the ones on the gun.
In other words,
It proves the contraption existed there in that room that day. It proves that Camilla is guilty. And it didn't work the way your little girl intended. Is that right? Exactly. Some cowardly culprit modified the design. But that angle was never brought up in court. And so, as Justice Minister, I must call off the execution at this point.
I knew I was right. It wasn't Detective Chode. Now we can finally prove it. Thank goodness.
What happens to Camilla? That's the real problem.
I mean, she was a child at the time of the crime and it was not intended.
Yeah, it causes problems. Thank you, Lynn. In those eyes of yours, I see the eyes of that little girl from 10 years ago. Right, I think we got some questions from Jowd, though.
So I need to ask Shana, right?
A little bit.
Cecil, if you hadn't come to my cell tonight, I would be gone by now, without ever having known any of this. This is what I deserve. That's what I told myself the past 5 years. But things are different now. Thanks to you, my eyes have been finally opened.
Tonight, I've come into contact with a lot of people's lives and got involved in their fates. And the only reason I was doing it was to regain my own lost memory. But things are different now. We're connected to each other somehow. I just know it. And that's why I need to ask you a few more questions, in order to find the truth about us.
Fair enough. Fire away.
Here we go.
Cecil told me all about it, Detective Chode.
I think I'll take Jowd from now.
About the manipulator.
Yes, and it looks like this manipulator really did a number on the minister too. Ah! Please don't pick on the minister. If he dies again, I'm the one who has to save him. Ugh.
Cecil, do you think that's what happened to me too?
What are you talking about, Lynn? Don't tell me. You were manipulated too?
There was always a part of me that just couldn't believe it. That image of the one who shot me.
Oh wait, that's me. Shit, that's me.
Oh.
But now I see the possibility of a new explanation. Damn it, text only.
But who is it? And why did it do it? That contraption was for a birthday surprise for Camilla's mother, wasn't it?
That's right.
Something's been bothering me about it. I feel like I know the device from somewhere.
No surprise there. You lost your life once tonight because of that machine.
Right, I knew it. See, Detective Chode?
No, I'm afraid I don't see. I told Detective Jowd about it. It's a complete recreation. Told him about seeing the exact same contraption tonight in a completely different place. There's something odd about that contraption, though. That's very strange indeed.
Yeah.
A junkyard on the edge of town. Never even heard of the place. And what's more, I've never told a single soul about that contraption.
You haven't?
That old pigeon guy. Who in the world is he?
It's the pigeon.
It's the fucking pigeon! Detective Jowd, you must have heard this name before. Temsik. The meteorite that fell in the park 10 years ago. You were there. So you found out about that, did you? I hear that meteorite saved little Lynn's life. That's right. I couldn't do anything to help Lynn that day. But in that case, I don't get it. If it's true, doesn't it mean you didn't steal somebody's life away?
What are you talking about?
Detective Child, you told me that 10 years ago, the person who killed the perpetrator in the park was you.
What? But it was the meteorite?
I wasn't lying. I stole that man's life away. No question about it. It was entirely my fault. I was just about to shoot him. I would have shot him in the next instant. The meteorite hadn't come. At that point, I was already a murderer.
That's not true. You're trying to save me.
Lynn, I'm sorry, but I don't think that's really it.
Huh?
On that day, 10 years ago, a different incident happened in another place.
Another place?
Yes, in the police headquarters interrogation room. The worst sort of incident. A suspect who was being questioned escaped.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I happened to be there in the detective division, so I joined the case. Fortunately, or I guess unfortunately, I was able to track him down alone in the park. Hold it right there! History repeats. I fired a warning shot. I wanted to catch him. Bad. That warning shot made him panic. At the time, I was a young and green detective, brandishing my sense of justice like a sword. I made him panic, and got you involved, Lynn. It was all my fault.
Detective Child.
All I could see was my target. I couldn't even see you. I'm so sorry, Lynn.
So, the man who grabbed me died that day.
These last 10 years, I've never forgotten his face. And then a few years after that, when my wife Alma died in such a mysterious way, I thought it was my fate, my punishment for what I'd done. I painted pictures in my cell, nothing but portraits of people's faces, all the faces of the many people I'd met in my life I didn't want to forget. And tonight, I finished my last portrait, the final face I wanted to remember. The final face. The face of the man in the park that day. Wait just 1 minute. That can't be. I saw that painting. I saw the face you painted tonight. It was my face. Are you telling me I was the man in the park that time? That's right. That face of yours is the face I saw 10 years ago. The face of the man whose life I stole, or the man who was pronounced dead at that scene.
But hold on, Detective Child. That can't be true. I just met this for the first time tonight. And he died right in front of me.
By the way, the name that I know the man in the park that day by isn't Cecil. What? From the first minute I laid eyes on you tonight, I've been wondering, who in the world is this guy? Oh, phone call.
Mr. Minister.
Inspector Cabanella, where are you?
Just be quiet and listen. This is our demand.
What? Demand?
Our demand hasn't changed. Execution must be tonight. Once we've confirmed it's been carried out, we'll release the hostage.
What are you talking about, Inspector Cabanella? And you know it wasn't my daughter who's been abducted.
Does it really matter who the hostage is? Life's alive. Even if it's a daughter of a death row prisoner. Once the criminal gets the punishment he deserves, the hostage will go free. Carry out the execution immediately and wait for a call. What is it, Mr. Prime Minister? You're paler than ever.
What in the world? What's going on? Inspector Cabanella! The rock of the gods that fell from the sky 10 years ago twisted the fates of many people and started a chain of tragic events. And even now, the chain continues to grow even longer. Inspector Cabanella's call proved that to us. Oh man, this shit's getting deep.
Yeah.
And the greatest mystery of all has risen to the surface. Who is this me I've been chasing all night? Who am I? I'm even further from knowing than when I started. Who am I, damn it?
Am I?
Another
And I
case of
don't think of scraps from this.
another case of an amnesiac, damn it. Another chapter to go. 10 years ago, a man named Cecil took a little girl named Lynn hostage, and then was killed by a meteorite fragment. Tonight, a man named Cecil met a detective named Lynn at a junkyard on the edge of town, and then was killed by a bullet. But the scene I find waiting for me on the other end of the phone line feels like the final nail in the coffin of my lost memory. Oh shit.
What?
I see myself.
Okay. I was proud of me to know that Sizzle was the one that took Lynn hostage before. But now I'm very confused again, goddammit.
I'll take this one. There you are, Commander Sith. Finally. Cecil, where have you been, my good man? We've been looking everywhere for you. I had a little unfinished business to take care of. Didn't think it would take this long. What about your people? They sure went out of their way to mess me up. I say, I believe we've fulfilled every one of your conditions in our little deal. What right do you have to complain about anything outside of our bargain? We can talk about that when we get together. This will be our last communication by telephone. We'll arrive in 1 hour. I look forward to seeing you, Cecil. Dawn is approaching. The darkness surrounding my own mystery is deep. I know it's always darkest before the dawn. Yes. We're nearing the final stages of our little deal, my good man.
Yes, sir. Our preparations are complete, sir. And we just had a report, sir. Lights have been spotted, sir.
Have they now? By all means, let me have a look. It's been a long while since we've been in this room.
It's like the start of the game.
Yeah. God, he's short. Yes. We're very close.
We will now disconnect from the communication cable and have no service until we arrive, sir.
Very well. Oh, I'm getting an FMV here.
Submarine, right?
Yep. That's some advanced shit. It's a pretty small sub, actually. Very private. Off he goes. And there goes the phone lines, too. Nice try, Inspector Cabanella. But you could never stop me. See ya, sucker. Oh shit. So, that submarine guy and his people have a deal going on with me, do they? If that's the case, they probably aren't the ones who killed me, right? Anyway, there's definitely something behind the inspector's death. I think I better talk to him. Nah, he's just chilling out in a cool manner.
Yeah, right, actually, in his stepper style.
Yep. Hey, do you think you could wake up for me? Oh boy, still unconscious, huh? I guess he hasn't been dead for very long then. I'll just go ahead and go back to 4 minutes before his death. I'm a little nervous about what I might see here, though. If that's where I'm gonna find my answers, I can't run away from it. Right. Here we go. Let's see what happened in 4 minutes.
Yeah, once the criminal gets the punishment he deserves, the hostage will go free, arrested. Carry out the execution immediately and wait for a call.
That's a good boy. Gee, a hostage sure is a handy thing. It gives me complete control over the top police inspector in the country. What's the matter? All those broken bones smart a bit? What's it like to feel pain? Does it make you feel alive?
You drink this.
Now, is that any kind of question for a top inspector to ask? Isn't it obvious? Revenge, of course. Revenge on all the people who stole my life away 10 years ago.
Be ridiculous. It was a meteorite that stole your life. Have you forgotten that?
Wrong! I was murdered by all of you! Not even a flinch. Detective Jowd, who chased me down and forced me into a corner, even though I was innocent. Lynn, that girl who was right there when I was running.
Lynn, she was just an innocent little girl playing in the park.
If that brat hadn't been there, I never would have thought of taking a hostage.
That's the most self-centered garbage I've ever heard.
And finally, you, Inspector Cabanella.
Me.
If you hadn't done what you did, I never would have pointed a gun at that kid. You were so proud of your spotless record. In my case was the one blot on it, wasn't it? Only 2 people know the real truth, me and Detective Jowd. I bet tonight's execution will be quite a relief to you, won't it? One of the people who know about the stain on your record will disappear for good. That's why you didn't help him escape from prison. That's the kind of guy you are.
I have nothing to say to you. You'll never listen anyway.
Oh, mission accomplished. Not.
Gods.
Now then, Inspector. Time to make a big red stain on your spotless white coat.
Oh no.
Yoink. This was another condition of my deal. To wipe out everybody who knew about Temsic. Simple as that. That's gonna be hard to stop. Revenge? That's what I'm up to? None of this makes any sense.
Hey man. Man, tell me what's going on.
Inspector Cabanella. He's awake.
My head's spinning, baby. I might understand that have another character who just got shot as me?
That's right.
And you're supposed to be the scoundrel there who just shot me.
I guess so.
But you couldn't be, could ya?
Huh?
After all, the guy in the red suit just walked out of the door, right? So, who are you?
Guess I just have to face it. I'm not that Cecil guy. I'm somebody who's searching for himself. That's why I'm here to save you. At the very least, you have information about that guy in red, information I need.
So, you came on a rescue mission, now did you? Nothing like the son of that baby. Because there's a very important life here somewhere. Life valuable to this nation. Okay, so do your thing, baby.
Oh.
He doesn't know about the powers of the dead, right?
I think he's already figured it out somehow.
Wow, he is a good inspector.
Very good. Right, so, look at him. There's that something emanating from his body. Is it really the sign of having special powers of the dead? Right, let's see what we can do. I guess I can do this. As a start, maybe I can get moving with... What's going on? I've never seen the ghost world like this. So, you're here, aren't you? You sense my presence.
Should I voice evil you?
Nah, I got this. I noticed you. You think you can stop me, do you? I don't know why you're wearing my face, but you might as well give up now. I control everything.
Damn it.
Yeah. Everything, including the life of this police inspector in white. We gotta be careful here. He can see what we do. Wait, don't shoot! Bang. If he senses us, game over immediately.
Oh, wow.
This other me knows the powers of the dead well.
Who wouldn't? That's what you just did. You were practically shouting, "Look at me, baby."
It looks like it might be hard to save you under these circumstances. I guess I can't use my powers right in front of him like that. I guess I better rewind the clock again and see if I can pick up any other clues. There's not much we can really do here. The fact that he can see what we're doing, what can we do? No phone calls were made either. We've missed our cue. All I can do really is just sit here and wait. There's not much I can do.
I mean, when he gets shot is one point, I think.
That's pretty much our cue, but that's it. He sees anything we're doing if he's looking in this direction, mind you. He's got to see it, but still, he'll figure it out immediately.
Yeah.
All we
I
can
can
do
also
is...
say that I really appreciate when games have a mechanic and then extend it really cleverly throughout the game, like they did with Missile and now this.
Mm-hmm. Look at this place. Well, something else happened here. What the hell happened in here? What in the world happened here?
Think I'm starting to remember. Something bad happened here.
No shit, Sherlock.
And now there's another death lying hidden here.
What? Another death?
Didn't I tell you from the start? Didn't I say there was a very important life valuable to the nation here?
He's already remembered everything. I thought you were talking about you.
I'm just a crazy character in a mind cult, baby.
I mean, that is his character, so... Ah. Pigeon Man.
It's the pigeon, it's still the pigeon.
It's the pigeon! Hey, come to think of it, where's that old pigeon guy? Oh, let's go find him, shall we? He's, somewhere around here. Let me see, maybe if I could just move this a bit off of it. Oh, shit! Not good enough. It'll do. I can just... maybe if I just open this up, a little nudge. Perfect. Here we go. Let's see what happened to this old man. Excuse me. Oh, thank fuck. Are you awake? Nope. Of course. I never sleep during work hours.
Professor, do you recognize me?
There's only one crazy character in a white coat that I know of. He hasn't lost his memory. I'm not the type who likes losing things. But never mind that. Cabanel, this is quite a surprising guest you've brought with you. Pretending like he didn't just blow up the place. Are you talking about me?
Oh, this is a different guy. Nem, his guest actually, said he came to rescue us. Unlike you, my sharp friend, he still hasn't gotten his memories back.
Pitiful. Gosh, that hurts. Anyway, now we'll be going back to 4 minutes before your death. In order to change your fate, that is.
But aren't we already in the past, man?
But we can go back even further. I've done it before. I just don't see a path to saving Inspector Cabanella, but if we go back further, maybe I'll find a lead. That's a start.
We have to go deeper.
Even deeper than before. Now let's see what happened here. Well, there's the body.
How many times do I have to tell you, Professor? This place is dangerous.
Don't be daft. I can't leave now. He's completely dead, but just as I thought, I'm getting a reading. The PKA meter is going off the charts. This is the source of his powers, if I remove it.
He's not dead, he's just not there. The true form of the manipulator isn't something you can detect, it's a spirit.
Ridiculous. So, you figured it all out, huh? That's not spooky at all. You're a clever man, Inspector Cabanella.
So, it's really true. Yeah.
I wasted a lot of time tonight because of you, Inspector. But it's all just like you said. I died 10 years ago. This body is just a vessel, a shell. I control everything. This shell, people. Just like I controlled the Justice Minister and Lynn. He's like a supervillain, isn't he?
So it's true. You were manipulating my baby at that time. You made her shoot your shell. But why? Why would you do a thing like that?
To create conclusive evidence, you know, on that security tape. Now she's a murderer too. She'll suffer just like Joud did. Now then, Professor, I'm afraid it's time for you to die. I don't have any grudge against you. I'm even grateful to you. Oh yeah? So why don't you let me live then? I'll be leaving this country forever tonight, but before I do, I need to erase all evidence that these powers of mine even exist, along with the contraption in this room. Nudge. This time, the thing will work the way it was meant to, and it'll be all over. Cupid won't turn this time. He'll shoot his little arrow this way. Oh shit, those aren't party poppers.
Professor, look out!
Well, that explains the broken ribs.
No, I just thought it was casual torture.
Dynamite, huh? When the devil did he put that there?
He planned it all out tonight. Having my baby shoot him, having the corpse disappear.
His corpse disappeared? Remember him?
The medical examiner, remember him? I actually don't. He was a complete and utter imposter.
He was right at the start.
Oh, yeah. He said he was going to take the corpse back to the lab. But he had already made a deal with the manipulator to meet him and give him the body back.
I think the blue skin was a bit of the giveaway, considering. They all seem to be connected.
It's pretty racist, but it wasn't going to let that happen, baby. I wasn't.
You saw through their plan, huh?
I noticed right away the medical examiner didn't know the first thing about examining a body.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
I knew he was a fake, so I tracked him down and bought him off.
Bought him off?
I bought him off. I had him smuggle the corpse to this room. I thought we could find the source of his power. Of course, never my wildest dreams did I think his abilities were powers of the dead.
Anyway, there isn't much time. He's leaving the country before dawn. And I'm gonna follow him, of course, after I save you two. But something's been nagging at the back of my mind. I remember what Ray said to me tonight. He said that spirits cease to exist when the day breaks. But if that's true, how could a spirit from 10 years ago still be here?
No time for thinking now, baby. Action is the name of the game. Work your magic and take us back, even further into the past.
I'm supposed to say that.
Never stole your line, deal with it.
He's so cool,
Baby.
he's stealing lines. Right, what can I do? Not a
I'm
lot.
currently questioning if Ray is Sizzle.
Damn trapdoor.
The fact that, yeah,
Alright, yeah. No, skip it. It's a heavy door.
Yeah.
It's definitely the answer, we just can't open it. Door that opens downward, huh? Hey, look. It's those rats again. Not much I can really do here, though. I can't really do much here, considering that, you know, other me is, there as well. He's gonna notice anything I do as well.
Yeah.
Fuck. Not much I can really
Can you
do.
just do the arrow in the other direction because you can't change it quickly enough then?
That's a good
Or
point.
will you get cutscene locked off?
I need to reach it though, that's the problem. I can't reach it right now. Kind of stuck here. It's getting up now. I'm pretty sure he'll notice me turning it around as well. He'll probably just correct it. I might be able to just... There we go. I guess I could stick around. Oh look! Right there next to the inspector, that's the original cake. He moved it. There's not much I can really do here. If this bastard didn't notice anything, he'd be doing all sorts of shit right now. Actually thinking about it, I don't think the Cupid is even an interactable object. I think. You'd show up on the screen right now. Well, maybe it's because he's behind the box. I'll test it. Here comes history. Alright, it's now or never. Okay. Lighter. Let's see. No, it's not an interactable object.
Oh,
Fuck.
because it's blocking it.
No, it's not even an object. It would show up as an outline. It's not a thing. I can't touch it. Not much I can really do then. I can't do anything. Who's that? Hey, I know that voice.
Help me.
Where are you?
Find me. I'm carried away. Huh? What with the whales and they call for help?
He's here somewhere. A friend of yours? Yep, a little guy that looks a little fragile but has strength that surprised you. Well, he's asking you to find him.
And before he's carried away, no less.
Almost out of time. Should I look for him? Yes, I'd say you should. Because he's right over there.
Ah. Cecil, I'm here! I hear him.
Oh, hey, it's...
Missile!
What are you doing there?
Do you really have to ask? Seriously, are you really going there?
No, that's okay. Never mind. Anyway, I need your powers. Will you help me out?
Of course! Here, let me come join you.
It's all one big party, you know.
And he can't defeat us now. We have a dog.
We have a fucking dog. He's unstoppable.
Okay, here I am, Cecil.
Okay, all we need is an exact duplicate body of the fake. Now, maybe things will flow in a new direction.
Even though the flow of the sewer is a little bit stinky.
We can make this work. Right. We can now change things around a little bit, but I don't think we have the time to do it. But we do have missile now, so that's something.
Okay, let's stop that explosion.
No, we can't do that.
Okay, let's take care of the man in red then.
No, we can't do that either.
We can't do this, we can't do that. What can we do?
We let the explosion happen. Then we rescue the old pigeon guy without the red man in red noticing. And your powers are the key to all of it, Missile.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I'll do my best.
We're talking about a matter of seconds. We can't miss our chance. Alright. Let's see what
We
can
can
make.
miss. We have unlimited tries.
Yeah, but we're working on limited time here. Those squeaky guys are making a fuss about something.
Sister? Many of those things are starting to surface.
If you mean you want to chase them, I think you have to be alive to do that. There must be some kind of rat feast in that trash can. Those things usually make a bigger commotion than that. A bigger commotion, huh? Well, let's make the bigger one then. It happens to be a staircase perfectly shaped. There we go, now you should be able to reach. Come on, make enough noise. Hey look, we got food over here!
Ah. Now that's what it calls some proper commotion.
Commotion. Making that trash can dance.
Truth be told, I feel a bit like dancing now myself.
No, don't start.
It's getting harder and harder to hold my wild instincts back.
What a dangerous bunch. Ooh. Quick, it's now or never, or I'll miss it. Right, I'll swap these. There we go. Just put myself up here. Get over there. Swap this for in there. And just let fate happen. There we go. Perfectly shaped.
Oh.
Boop.
It's not.
It's smaller than
okay.
the lid, so off it goes.
Okay, I thought you did it too early, but no, it's just perfectly timed.
We did it on the last second. Well, that was under 2 seconds. Somehow. Sorry, little pigeon. As for you, Inspector, I have a little job for you.
I can't move. I think I have 4 or 5 broken bones.
I don't mind. It won't prevent me from manipulating you. It might make it hurt a little bit when I move you, though. Quite a bit, actually.
Damn you.
That's messed up. You seriously can't see that? There's like a 5-foot hole right there. I'm sure it's nothing.
Must be the explosion.
I can't
I
believe
mean,
it.
it was just a door, so that would have flown easy.
You lot actually pulled it off. Sorry, Inspector Kavanaugh. I couldn't do anything to help you.
And there I am, a poor broken heap of arms and legs. But no matter, I enjoyed the show. The magic disappearing act, that is. Nothing like it, baby.
Yeah, except, unlike a normal magic trick, I'm the one that managed to vanish without a trace here. Well, we saved one man's life. Not sure how much that can change. We do have Missile, though. What's the matter? You look like you'd rather be dead. Not that you aren't.
I was just remembering the fact that right about now, the real me is giving the poor Justice Minister a real fright.
That phone call?
And
Yeah, he was pretty upset.
excuse me, mister. You really shouldn't be mean like that. And what's this lively little creature?
Oh, this little doggy is the warrior who keeps Camilla safe. Or he would be if he was actually still full of life.
Camilla. Gods in heaven, what a terrible thing. This poor little girl taken hostage.
It's a cruel twist of fate indeed.
Wait just a minute. Miss Camilla is a hostage? Yes, we are sorry, little warrior. Miss Camilla, a hostage? That's a hostage.
Bless this boy's innocence. Anyway, Inspector Cabanella, it's time to save your life now.
But you couldn't get very far when you tried before, am I right? But this time it's different, right, Sizzle?
That's right. With us working together, it's a whole different situation. We'll save the Inspector in white, and then we'll go to rescue Camilla, okay?
Okay, let's hurry up and get through this. Gee, kids, you're making me feel like an afterthought.
Well, first we gotta get there now, because this is the current present time. Alright, let's get started. Inspector Kavanaugh is upstairs, so our first step is to get up there.
Sizzle, I'll go up first and wait for you.
Oh, thanks. Don't have to do two at once.
Yeah, this is just to reduce the complexity, right?
Okay, lovey-dove. We need your help. Carry this measuring device upstairs. It has Mr. Ghost in it, so don't drop it. Easy. Easy, Archimedes. Right. There. Just gotta time that right. Right, here we are.
There you are, Sizzle.
Sorry for the wait, Missile. 4 minutes from now, the Inspector will be killed by a gun.
You just lump in there and stop him from firing, would you?
There you go again with that stuff. Besides, it doesn't make any sense. If you stop him from firing, he'll just kill you some other way. Wait a minute. That sounds familiar. Yep, same situation as mine. Your best bet this time around is to allow him to shoot and then save Kavanaugh without him noticing. Whew, it's even worse than last time.
Anywho, jump in there and do something. Okay, I'm ready to jump in, Sizzle. Don't forget, whenever you want to use my power, just touch the icon.
This will be interesting. Alright, right now it's the sake of mobility. I'm in a terrible spot right now, so I need to get a missile out of here. Somewhere else. Can't reach that. Actually, I don't think missile's ideal in this position. Let me put him somewhere else. I'm gonna leave him here. Okay, now I want to be on... I can't reach it. I gotta wait for him to jump in the chair. Any minute now. Okay, that's the kettle.
You can jump into that, right?
No, I want to be on the chair. I want to be on the stool. The stool will be further forward when he comes back around when he gets shot. Although, I could do something right now. He's not looking, so... Oh, God, this is going to be close, if it counts. Ah, I saw it. And repeat. It's repeat. Now to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw that. Back! Go back! I didn't realize it was that tight. I thought I had more room. Right. Oh, already seen all this. Skip. Skip, damn you. The button's not working.
No.
I can't skip it by holding down the button. It's not kicking in for some reason. Stupid cutscene logic. Okay, let's try this again. Now I remember a particular step that is quite important. Okay, so you go there, and now I have to wait. So when he slams the castle, that's when he turns around. I gotta take advantage of that. Right, I'll just get into the lamp. I need to get...
Does he just not have to see it? Or is it
Just-
even like if he notices changes afterwards?
No, he just has to see movement. So right now it's safe because
Okay.
he's not looking. It's just he doesn't stay in that position for very long. Okay, that's out of the way. He doesn't notice it. He only hears a noise, so it doesn't count. And can't reach that. I have to wait. Come on. Come on, you stupid bastard. Move. Shoot him, damn it! Shoot him! Bang. And strolls right back. And now he's slightly closer now. Okay, with that, now I can get in the stool, and he still doesn't notice because apparently being right next to it doesn't count.
Okay.
Right. Let's see. Can he reach that? No, I'll figure it out. Right. Nope, that's in the way. Put in there. Okay, I want to move this beanie hat. There's an alternate way of doing this, which you like an alternate way of failing this wrongly. You get the right idea, but you do it wrong, pretty much.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll take this with me. Right, and now I want to swap this particular book. There we go. That slips on there. And we have our shape. It looks just like a bullet. So you could swap that with the hard hat, and then you just completely cave in his face with the fucking hard hat instead of a bullet. We're gonna swap the bullet.
Ah.
So you could do it with the hard hat, but it would do more damage than before. Because it's still got the bullet velocity of a bullet. Stop! His timing's impeccable with that. Would you look at that? The bullet is hanging mid-air, between the gun and the inspector's forehead.
Now's our chance! I'm here in the bullet right now.
How do you do that?
Let's drop this little thing with something else. What?
It's our only hope. There's gotta be something here with the same shape and direction as the bullet.
I never saw a bullet before. It has such a good little shape, doesn't it?
Well, it's not that threatening when you look at it that way. I can check out the bullet shape on the top screen. Okay, got it. Now I know what it's shaped like. I mean, that's fair. Considering how small this thing is, you can't even see it in the preview screen. Like, you know, it's that bloody small. But size doesn't matter. It just has to be the same shape. That would snap someone's head off. Like slamming in the door with that bullet velocity. He doesn't notice a thing. I don't think he noticed. Looks like he pulled off another magic disappearing act.
And now I see again. I love living cats, so warm and most of all soft. Did I do alright?
You did a fine job, little one. You saved another life.
I'll keep doing it too. Over and over.
You'll be another great ghost detective yet. What I saw in just these 4 minutes gave me all the answers I've been looking for.
All of research this fastidious place in comparison, right, Professor?
So you two were working together?
That's about the size of it, yeah. Who would believe a story about a manipulator? So, we pursued it ourselves, just the two of us.
I'm quite a crazy character myself, after all.
Okay, let's head back to our time. We have to rescue Miss Camilla.
You're right, Missile. And there's a certain guy I have to follow too. He's still conked out. Or not. After completing his revenge on Inspector Kavanaugh, the man in red left. And now, a new story is about to unfold in a new present. How are you feeling, you old crazy character? Oh, amazing, he's getting up.
Hey there, bruv. We're both alive, I see. Yeah, nothing like it, baby. But I don't want to know if I'm getting old or whatnot. I've got a few aches and pains here and there. Used to be a little thing like an explosion. Wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, right. Like I'm going to believe that. So what? The guy in red is gone, eh?
Just in case, I protested special investigation was all I want the building.
Posted.
Yeah, it's getting too late. Let's just pray the boys came through for us. Damn it, you picked a bad time not to listen to me, buddy of mine.
Just be glad your coat isn't ruined by the explosion.
Clean coat, baby. If I knew things were going to end up like this, I would have tried to time the explosion, baby. That way I could have been dancing off the big red by now.
Might be able to erase deaths, but it's true I can't do much about injuries. But really, you shouldn't talk that way.
Yeah, sorry. I suppose you're right. I just hate feeling so helpless. He was right there within my grasp. All our plans were resting on tonight, and then this had to happen.
I guess he's thinking about his spotless record. It's not too late, Inspector. We still have a chance. Maybe I can catch him.
Say, you're right. That's not a bad idea. I cooperate with you fully. Go on ahead and fire away with any questions you like, Mr. Ghost.
This is gonna extend over 2 hours. That guy mentioned revenge. Revenge against the people who stole his life away 10 years ago. He's a fool. He's the one who made the decision to take that little girl hostage, and he wound up dead. He only has himself to blame. But what about when he said this? I was murdered by all of you. Detective Jout, who forced me into a corner. Lynn, the girl who was playing in the park. And finally, you, Inspector Cabanella. If you hadn't done what you did, I never would have pointed a gun at that kid.
Yes, 10 years ago that day, the Special Investigation Unit was working on a certain big case. We hauled in a young man, an important witness to our investigation. And then I did it. I made two very stupid mistakes.
Detective, I'm telling you, I don't know anything about it.
Fine, fine, you're under no obligation to talk, of course. But if you don't, the Special Investigation Unit can make the rest of your life a living hell.
But I
just been assigned to a Special Investigation Unit, you see? They didn't share much information on big cases with a newbie like me yet, and I wanted to impress them. It was only supposed to be a simple matter of taking his statement. But I was too green. I pushed him too hard. I drove him into a corner and made him lose all hope. That was my first mistake. Then I made another one on top of that.
Cabanella, got a minute? The chief wants to see you about your report.
Got it, I'll be right there. You stay right here and be a good boy now. And that's when I did it. I left it behind in the interrogation room. My gun.
Oops. How could you?
He used my gun to escape. What he said is true. If I had made the mistake, he never wouldn't have had a gun to point at Lynn in the first place.
That's a big oopsie.
We first found out about the manipulator's existence during a certain overseas communication.
Overseas communication?
For national security purposes, this country keeps tab on the communication networks. This particular communication was about making a deal with a certain foreign country. He said that he wanted them to buy him and his powers. That's how we first heard about him. Of course, we didn't know what he looked like at the time. And in order to prove these powers of his, he gave him two predictions. He foresaw two completely preposterous, impossible cases. The case of a man who would sing national secrets during a live rock concert broadcast. And the case of a man who would take the chief commissioner hostage in his own office.
Those two inmates at the special prison, huh?
And we kept tabs on the communication and launched an investigation. And then, finally, we pinpointed where they're going to meet tonight and staked it out.
Ah. That restaurant, the Chicken Kitchen.
The manipulator's plan leaving this country tonight on a submarine that belongs to the other countries in this deal.
Why do I get the feeling this other country is supposed to be Russia? It's submarine.
I don't know, but we haven't been able to find out where it's going to surface. It's terrifying to think what would happen if his powers were to fall into their hands.
Right. Highly unlikely they'd use him for peaceful purposes.
Now they have that little girl as a hostage.
Camilla.
We have to stop him before he leaves the country.
Well, you know, border rules and all that. This spotless record of yours, is it really that important to you?
Of course, baby. In some way, it's more important to me than my life.
Then your life, huh?
After all, it's because of my records that I'm able to get my hands on all intel as head of the Special Investigation Unit. And because of my position, I get to direct all aspects of the investigation and to manipulate the case.
The manipulator case? That's why you cared about your record so much?
Of course. What else, baby?
That does explain it.
I just never could believe it, man. Child shooting Alma. I didn't care that he confessed. There's definitely something more to the story. Some secret. I did everything I could to climb the ladder. Everything in my power. And then I finally found the answer. It took 5 long years though. The manipulator is going to prove that Gerald is innocent.
What incredible determination. There's one thing I just don't understand. If you were so determined to help Detective Jowd, why didn't you help him escape from prison?
It's an easy one, baby. Escaping from prison is a crime.
Oh, yeah, he's not wrong.
I wasn't about to help him commit a crime after spending 5 years trying to prove him innocent.
Ah, I see.
And he himself asked to be executed, you know. As a man of the law, I had to make sure the execution was stopped legally. And that's why I brought him before the Justice Minister too.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. He's intentionally delaying the inevitable.
I needed to buy as much time as I possibly could, baby.
Why else would you bring him here? So that's it, huh? But there's one little unfortunate result of all this. Lynn completely misunderstood your intentions.
Ha. Well, it's a little misunderstanding, my baby. Will come around. Give it time. But there are more important things to do with our time tonight.
Oh, thank God. We're done.
No more reading.
No, more reading. Ugh.
Ah,
I think I'll be talking to myself now, so you get a minute.
thank God.
Right.
The God of Work.
Mr. Superintendent, do you mind if I talk to you for a minute? I haven't always been a junkyard superintendent, you know. I used to be part of the police. The police, huh? Not as a detective, but as a medical examiner. I investigated victims' cause of death. 10 years ago, I was asked to autopsy a strange corpse. Hit by a meteorite fragment and died instantly. That's what the police report said. There were no signs of life. He was definitely dead. But I never filed an autopsy report. That's because the corpse suddenly vanished, leaving behind only one clue. An unusual corpse. I bet that's why I've been chasing all night. Could you tell me more? Yeah, sure. I have an interest in you recovering your memory and finding out your true identity too. That's the only way I can describe it too. It was an unusual corpse. He was dead all right, no question about that. But there wasn't a scratch on him. Not a scratch? But I thought he was hit by a meteorite fragment. I don't understand it any more than you do. I was completely bewildered. But when I tried to autopsy him, I was even more puzzled. I couldn't perform the autopsy. You couldn't? What do you mean? The scalpel went in, but I couldn't cut. As soon as I tried to make an insertion, it would heal up in the very next instant. And that's how it went. And no scarring or blood either. and I never had the chance to solve the mystery.
That's because the corpse up and vanished on us.
The morgue is well guarded. Nobody could have stolen that body. But there is one way the corpse could have disappeared. What's that? Well, just up and walked away. Like nothing happened. It got up, opened the door, and walked out on its own. What? He was dead, but he wasn't dead. He was only mostly dead. There's a big difference between dead and all dead.
We saw it with our own eyes tonight, that even that explosion could kill him.
He didn't even feel it when he slammed his fist on that stove. The corpse left behind some data from some testing I did. I got some readings from some kind of radiation coming off of that body. Radiation? I used all kinds of instruments, but I couldn't determine exactly what kind of radiation it was. Some undiscovered type from a world unknown. Wait a minute. Could it be... That's right. It was coming from that meteorite fragment. He's like the only scientist to discover this shit. I went to that park and tested the spot where the meteorite fell. And just as I expected, I detected radiation coming from that crater. It was the exact same pattern of radiation as that of the corpse. At the time, I thought he was some kind of immortal being. He would die only to come back to life. I wanted to research it all in depth, so I quit my job as a police medical examiner. Several years later, I came to learn the connection between my research and the manipulator case, thanks to the arrival of this crazy character here.
Oh, stop it now, Professor. Do you want me to blush?
It was about a year ago, I'd say. This man in white came dancing into my research lab here.
I heard there was an oddball here was researching Temsik. Is that you, baby?
Who are you to be calling anybody an oddball? That's one way to get a meeting.
I was investigating the manipulator case then. And then I heard there was a man who quit the police was to study the meteorite. When I heard that it was like a meteor had struck me on the head. At the time, we were just starting to get leads of this manipulator. We didn't know who he was yet, but we knew he was communicating with a certain foreign country. In one of those communications, we heard the manipulator say this: "The sources of my power is not of this world." And that's when I put two and two together, baby. The manipulator case and Temptic is somehow connected.
Which also explained how 5 years ago he used his powers to manipulate a birthday surprise a little girl made for her mother.
He added the gun to the contraption, most likely by controlling Camilla.
And how would she know? She was only a girl.
Plus tragic event. Normal to forget it.
So that contraption in the basement here, you built that to try and help Detective Jowd? That's right. Jowd and I worked together back when I was with the Force. I used the reports of his case to try and recreate the device. But there was just one part of it that I couldn't reproduce, no matter how hard I tried. Camilla told Jowd it did something it shouldn't have, made an impossible move. I added that part to the device I recreated,
I put in a part that would allow Cupid to rotate. Otherwise, the gun wouldn't fire.
So that must mean somebody manipulated Camilla's contraption.
As a result, we proved to ourselves that the manipulator actually existed.
Interesting.
Inspector Cornella! Hey, baby. Sorry about that phone call. Must have sounded like a real villain.
It's like he was manipulated by one.
I hate to spoil the image of me. Of that cool cat inspector you always looked up to.
Is that really the image she had of him?
And Inspector Cornella, I'm sorry, I just heard you were chasing after that man all this time to try and help Detective Child. This manipulator is such a dangerous character. I was hoping you didn't have to get involved. So that's why you had me arrested tonight, is it? Like I always say, if someone's in the way, throw him in the slammer.
Yikes.
Tonight, I really thought we finally had him. But my body gave out of me right at the critical moment. It's like a cruel joke.
Ha 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 ha! But a joke is a joke. You might as well laugh.
Child! The minister called off the execution order. And while he was at it, we let Detective Joe go free until tomorrow morning, too.
That's a pretty extreme while he was at it.
Sorry it took so long to get here. You can leave the rest to me.
There you go again. You always been like that. You make everybody else around you, and then you swoop in at the last second.
Jowd? 5 years ago, you left this coat with me, just before you turned yourself in. I promised to give it back to you one day.
That coat has been in the background the whole time, by the way.
Neat detail.
There we go. Much better.
I've been waiting so long, Detective Child. Waiting for this day to come.
Thanks for not giving up on me, Lynn. Okay, I'm off then.
Good luck, my friend.
This present you gave me is just what I needed. Thank you.
Glad you like it.
There's something more to that thing than it looks.
Sissel, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You and I have to go find that man. I need your help. Will you do this with me?
Sure, but how? We don't know where the submarine is, and the phone line doesn't work.
They use communication cables to make the calls. We'll get you hooked up somehow. You'll see. Could you wait here until we do, please?
Okay, fine. I'm counting on you.
This true self you're looking for. I'll bet you find it soon. Alright, I'm leaving. Inspector Cornella.
It's almost dawn. I'm not who I thought I was. I'm actually further from knowing who I am than ever. But now, I don't feel so alone. Each one of us, for his or own reasons, is looking for the truth. Together, I think we can shed on these mysteries, and drive away the darkness. But it's almost dawn. Getting close to the edge there. And it's finally over this chapter. That was longer than it normally is.
Yeah, oh god, so much talking.
Right, chapter 16. We are almost there. Let's see, 6.
6 and 17? And 18? So
it's
3 more?
3 more. I mean,
Okay.
depending on how those are paced, we could do it in one go. We'll just have to see.
Okay.
If not, to make the pacing fair, I think. Depending on the length of the next one, it might just be 1, and then on Thursday it will be 2. Because the final chapter and the previous chapter are pretty linked. It'd be wrong to not do them at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. Show the thumbnail. Damn them all. Right, that was a good stream. Right, so check back tomorrow for maybe the last of Ghost Trick. If not, it'd be on Thursday. So, yeah, till next time. Bye all.
Bye.